What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Surrey Stingers, bringing you guys the PTL Championship match. D2 finals in Season 2. We're taking on Gremlin and the Southend Stoutlands. This was a lot more of a lopsided match in the regular season. I spent a really long time discussing my team, all of the possible outcomes of sort of where my team is going to go. So please, please, please check that out. It's much more important than the brief discussion I'm going to have about the team here, but let's run through what he could have brought. He has the Megalodios, Necrozma, Mamoswine, Shaman, Buzzwole, Primarina, Z-Stakataka, Z-Tornadus, Incarnate, Incineroar, and Gligar. Last time he didn't bring the Shaman. I wasn't really expecting it this time. I figured that Chandelure sort of threatened it a little bit more. My team in general sort of handles Shaman decently well. Buzzwole didn't show up this time, so he replaced Shaman Shaman took Buzzwole's place, and Incineroar took Primarina's place, which is really interesting. I'm still really weak to the Stakataka. Necrozma's still a problem, but it's most likely the Megalopony answer. This team does look a lot weaker to Megalopony than his first variant, but he probably expected me to overprep around Megalopony. Megalopony actually would have been a pretty good bring this game, I think, but there's only so many things that I can do about that. So that is sort of my discussion about that. We'll quickly run through my team. So I'm Scarf Jirachi. This is my win con. My win con is to hack him to death. My win con is to flinch him to death. There's no holds barred with that. I said that at the beginning of the team builder, or at least the beginning of when I got into my team. My play is to flinch him to death. That's my play. That's how I win this game. Mamoswine is too big of a threat for me to play around, for me to fuck around with trying to switch into it. So I'm just going to flinch him to death. The Incineroar is very clearly his way to deal with Jirachi. I brought a Banded Jirachi last time, and it put in a ton of work, honestly. It might have been able to pick up the game for me, potentially, at that stage, because I believe Megalodios died in that game, but that's what's there. I'm a Rindoberry Blastoise. I'm physically defensive lefties Clefable. Assault Vest Golurk running min speed with a minus speed nature, and it still doesn't take Jar Balls well from the Staka. Specially defensive Roserade, meant for the Shaman or the Primarina, and luckily the Shaman came, otherwise I would have been feeling really stupid about bringing this fucking Roserade set. And then I'm a Scarf Chandelure. So let's hop right into things here. I figure my best play is just to lead off. I believe I just lead off with Fable. Yeah, because I can get up rocks against a lot of things here, and especially the Incineroar. So in prep, I was wondering if this Incineroar was going to be banded or something, because banded Incineroar could like two-shot my Clefable, and that'd be really annoying because Clefable's job is to get up rocks and then just get chip damage on a lot of stuff. Based on the like makeup of his team, if I can get up Calm Minds, it's maybe good, but the stack attack is still so fucking annoying. I'm not packing any coverage for the stack attack. I did bring like hidden power ground last time, I believe, but I'm not going to go with that this time. So I'm just going to get up rocks turn one, as he's going to knock off my leftovers, and we see that that is no investment damage. So this is kind of good for us now. It means that the Incineroar is very supportive. And so getting up rocks is really clutch. He doesn't have a Wish Passer on his team, but he could be like a Healing Wish Shaman, which would be really annoying. However, yeah, no, the Healing Wish goes before rocks, so that would definitely be a thing. But I'm just going to go for some chip on this Incineroar, sort of scout out and see how defensive he is. He's definitely like fully Spadef Assault Vest based on that, and he's going to go into the Stack Attack, which is annoying as fuck. So I'm going to go into my Golurk, and he's going to go into Shaman. Probably scouting for the Hidden Power Ground or the Hidden Power Fighting. I mean, probably didn't matter. The Shaman would have taken it either way. But I'm with Golurk now, so this is really bad for me. But I can go to my Roserade here. Roserade's a solid switch into this Shaman, as we see the Seed Flare does 10%. So I noticed that he isn't Life Orb or any boosting item based on the Seed Flare damage, and I recovered basically most of it back. So he's still offensive, though, based on the damage, so it's looking like it's potentially Choice Scarf damage from the Shaman, so I wasn't entirely sure what to think there. I'm going to get up a T-Spike here. It looks like it's probably one of my better plays, as he's going to bring in the Necro. The game plan at the start was to get up a T-Spike, because T-Spike affected a lot of his team, and if he didn't bring the Megalodios, his entire team was grounded, and I liked the idea of getting up hazards against his team, just whittling him down, and despite him being able to threaten me with a lot of his mons, I also force switches with mine, and so getting chip damage on mons like the Incineroar, like at this point, Incineroar is kind of looking like the only thing that can stop my Jirachi from just sweeping. So the chip damage from Clefable, plus the rocks, plus poison now, Should be doing quite a bit of work for me. Roserade's obviously threatened out by this Necro, and so I'm gonna go hard into my Chandelure. If he goes for an Earth Power or something, predicting that, like, good on him, right? But he goes for the Calm Mind, and I could have gone for some chip damage here against the Necro, but I decided after seeing the Calm Mind that I'd rather just cripple this, and Chandelure is kind of cucked by the Incineroar. It's obviously very specially defensive, so I can't do much about the Incineroar, and it's just going to kill me. So instead of like trying to win with Scarf Chandelure, which is just going to lose in the end game to Stack Attack anyways, I'm just going to go for the Trick, take his leftovers, and give him a Choice Scarf, because I think it's my best play, and he is just going to kill me there. But now he's locked into Earth Power, so granted, I don't have a single ground resist on my team, and I didn't bring Braviary, because Braviary could have come in for free here. I would have been able to click U-turn, and get some momentum on my end with Braviary, get some more chip damage on him with Rocks plus T-Spikes, but I didn't bring Braviary. So my play into Earth Power is either going Golurk, which is Assault Vest, or Clefable. And what I'm going to do is actually kind of choke this and go Golurk. It might have been a choke, might not have been a choke, but you see we only take 20% because I'm Assault Vest, but Shadow Punch is still doing absolutely nothing because of Prison Armor. And he's going to go into Mamoswine on my double into the Clefable. So I decided to double into Clefable there because I didn't want to take a bunch of of damage from the Necrozma against my Golurk, when my Golurk is the kind of like the one thing that's standing in the way of the Stack Attacka to an extent, although it's really not, because despite being absolutely min speed, Stack Attacka's Gyro Ball still does a trillion. So I'm in with Clefable here. I'm going to play for damage on the Mamoswine, but I wanted to soft boil the Scout to see what sort of set he would be, as he's going to double into the Stack Attacka on the Moonblast, or sorry, on the Calm Mind. I potentially should have just attacked, but he's going to go for the Gyro Ball. I'm not entirely sure that would have killed my Clefable. I'm not entirely sure what exactly would have happened there, but as we see, it does a billion to my Golurk here. And I'm going to predict the Shaman coming out, actually, and I'm going to go for the Ice Punch. I knew he either was going to go Shaman or Light. It was kind of a ballsy read, right? Because I could have just clicked Earthquake. Or, I mean, granted, he doesn't know if I had Dynamic Punch or not. I haven't brought it all season. I didn't bring it. It was on the original draft of the team, and I didn't end up bringing it. So I could have had Dynamic Punch for the Stacka, which would have been a little bit more annoying for the Shaman. But we get the Ice Punch predict right, which is great, because I figured either the Shaman or the Latios was coming in on the Earthquake. Obviously, he doesn't want to bring in Incineroar, because it's his way of stopping the Jirachi. The Necrozma is actually useless, and it's unfortunate that he changed the nickname to Not So Useless, because it is actually 100% useless this game now that I've tricked the Scarf onto it. But yeah, I just wanted to deal with that. And at the same time, I wasn't huge on giving Stack Attack of the Beast Boost, but I wanted to catch the switch into Golurk. I've played really aggressively with Golurk this season, and so I kind of figured that he might stay in, but potentially not. So the Shaman does come in. It's in range of dying to poison now, which is great, especially since we figured it was Choice Scarf. I saw his paste after the match. It was actually Assault Vest, so it's really interesting to know that it was AV, but still offensive AV, and it dies to the poison there, which is great. Great for me. Obviously, he had to stay in there because he was going to die to rocks. I could have switched if I really wanted to, but what was the point in switching? So we're down 2, but he's down 1 now, finally. And there's some chip on the Mamo, chip on the Necro, and chip on the Incineroar, which is all really good chip. Rocks are up again for the Incineroar, which is good. T-Spike up for the Necro. And the Incineroar to poison the Incineroar as well again. So I'm looking good with my chip damage here, and so I'm feeling pretty solid about myself. I knew he was probably going to go Stack Attacka as the mid-ground play, and so I went into Blastoise, and I'm just going to click Scald here, because I need the Stack Attacka like pretty much dead, honestly. Pretty much fucking dead, as we are going to get some damage off on the Necro. And that T-Spike obviously coming in really handy here, because it's going to make sure that I can kill this Necro on the next turn. But obviously he's Scarf now, so I'm not sure what he wants to go for here. And what I'm going to end up doing is going to my Clefable and sort of see what it is. And we're just going to be able to stall out this Necro to die to poison damage from the Roserade. As he's just going to go for 2 Photon Geysers, and I'll be able to heal a lot of health back. Unfortunately, what this means is that the Stack Attacker comes in basically for free. I don't have the best ways to chip this, so I'm going to try and chip it with my Clef. As he goes for Stone Edge that turn, I was really thinking he would go for a Gyro Ball. But I'm going to go for Moonblast this turn. I know he's probably clicking Trick Room. I have to like work my way out of this situation, so I'm going to double into my Roserade to try and burn some Trick Room turns. I actually live the Stone Edge, because of my HP investment, which is kind of fun. So that ends up burning 2 turns of Trick Room, which is great, but the problem is that he's getting a Beast Boost. So he goes for the safe Gyro Ball play. I'm going to try and scout for the Earthquake by going to my Jirachi here and then doubling into my Clefable, because I want to see his entire set. So now we've seen the entire set. We see it's Gyro Ball, Stone Edge, Earthquake, and Trick Room. This thing is definitely a Z move, but he does only have 1 turn of Trick Room left. So I'm going to go to my Blastoise here, and we are going to double into my Jirachi on the Stone Edge. He's not clicking Earthquake against the Blastoise because at +2 it's still not killing it. He's not clicking Gyro Ball. He's got to click Stone Edge. Stone Edge is his best way to kill my Blastoise because of the stab. And so now we've stalled out the Trick Room turns. Unfortunately, I had to get Jirachi weakened, but this is necessary because I need something to bring in on the Incineroar so that my Jirachi doesn't have to be at -1. Now, this might look like a really dire situation. My Blastoise is really chipped, my Jirachi's really chipped, and he's got 4 Mons alive, but luckily that flinch against the stack is really clutch. We're just going to be able to pick off the stack it here. I guess he decided he didn't need it anymore, which is pretty fair. And in comes the Incineroar, obviously taking rocks and taking poison. It's a pretty free U-turn for him, and I could have just gone for Iron Head again, but there was really no point in not just going Blastoise, as he's going to double in, or U-turn into the Mamoswine here. Now, my weird speed creeping in the team builder is going to pay off here as we see that the Mamoswine is actually slower than my Blastoise, and so we're going to be able to pick it off. And now it's 2-2 with the Latios coming in. Obviously, I'm at a very big health disadvantage, but the Incineroar is going to take another round of rocks when it comes in. And so there's 2 plays that I have here. I can go for the Toxic and sort of just whittle this Lati down a little bit slower and count on Jirachi to do some stuff. Or I can make the play that I didn't end up doing. I do end up going for the Toxic here. I did have Mirror Coat on this set. I wasn't entirely sure what move he was going to click because I don't know what Lottie set he was. I think the better play probably would have been to Mirror Coat rather than Toxic. I just thought the Toxic would have put maybe my Jirachi in a better spot to sort of flinch my way through this Latios. So I'm not going to go for the Mirror Coat, which may end up being a choke. We'll sort of see based on what he's going to click. Because obviously I don't know what the Lottie set is, but he's going to click Psychic and we're going to live. So that really sucks. Obviously you see 42 damage there. I could have Mirror Coated this Lottie. I would have put it in a really... I potentially would have killed it. I'm not entirely sure what the roll on Mirror Coat is. Maybe let's find out if that'll even tell me. No, it's not going to tell me what the Mirror Coat damage was. I believe it doubles the damage, so I would have done... He did 42, so I guess I would have done 84, which wouldn't have been enough to kill the Lottie, but it still would have been a huge chunk of damage. It would have been a gigantic chunk of damage, and it might have been more beneficial than clicking Toxic there. Who knows? Again, I don't know what the Mirror Coat... Like, I don't know what the mechanics of that are, so... please let me know if you do, but I'm not sure if I had clicked Mirror Coat if I would have been able to kill the Lottie and then get more chip damage off on the Incineroar or just outright kill it with Torrent Boosted Scald or not, and that could have been a way for me to win the game, but now at this stage of the game, my win con is haxing. My win con is absolutely to just click Iron Head and just Iron Head my way through this Pokemon, and he knows that. That's my only way to win this game. He probably knows that I'm Scarfed. It actually turns out he can't kill me with this Latios anyways. It's Mono Psychic. It's like Screens, Memento, and Psychic. It meant for a Necrozma or a Stack Attack, a sweep, I'd imagine. So what I'm going to do is just click Iron Head, and we're going to hope and pray. So hopefully you guys have your fingers crossed at home. Obviously that flinch matters, well, a little bit. Because he couldn't kill me, the flinches on the Lottie don't really matter. But now I'm intimidated against the Incineroar, and I need to flinch twice because of the poison damage. So, if I flinch this turn, I win the game. Because he'll die to poison, no matter what my roll is. But, I will die to this Incineroar if I don't flinch. This is possibly the closest game I've ever been a part of. And this is definitely the closest championship game that I've ever been a part of. So, let's find out if I get the flinch or not. Let's find out if I get the flinch against this Incineroar to win ourselves the D2 title. We're not going to get the flinch. And unfortunately, I high roll the last one, so it makes it seem a little bit more plausible. The roll looked like it was about 10 to 12% based on -1 Jirachi against a max HP Incineroar. So I got 11 on the first one. Had I got the 12% on the first one and the 12% on the second one, I kill this. Had I flinched, got my 60% chance and flinched, I win this. I'm not entirely sure if I kill the Lottie with Mirror Code or not, but that's potentially a game-changing play. All in all, this is one of the most fun battles I've had in a really long time, and I'm definitely not salty about a second place. I didn't deserve first in the regular season anyways. I got 2 FF wins, and I should have had to fight my way harder to get here. But I had a really fun season. I had a really successful season in PTL. That's sort of how it's been the last 2 seasons. I've been finding that I've been playing really well and maybe honing my drafting skills a little bit more. Season 1, sorry, we went 11-4 plus 20 in a 15-week season, and we barely missed out on playoffs. I really loved that team. It was a really offensive team by the end of things. I used a bunch of free agents on that one. And then this team, I didn't use as many free agents. I ended up trading for Garchomp. And we finished 10-2 plus 22, and we made it to finals. So pretty stoked about that. We're going to finish in second place, which is by no means a bad thing whatsoever. I have the utmost respect for Gremlin, and this was such a fun game. Honestly, I loved this game. It was so fun. That's going to be for me, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed the championship match. Hopefully you were on the edge of your seat like everyone else that I've shown this replay was. It came down to a lot of small plays. I think I made the correct plays most of the time. I think I proved that I deserved to be in the final at the very least, based on this match. And so, despite my over prep for the Buzzwole, I did over prep for Buzzwole, and I definitely did under prep for the Incineroar. I'm not sure what else I could have done to prep for the Incineroar besides potentially bringing Garchomp or Mega Lopunny. But then in that case, Stakataka and Mamoswine become bigger issues. He also could have been Shookaberry Stakataka. I can't exactly remember what his set was. Okay, well, you can see it here. He was Life Orb Mamo. He was Choppleberry Stakataka. Okay, so he was Choppleberry Stakataka. So these are his sets. I don't know if you guys can actually see all of these. Actually, you can't see any of them. So maybe I'll just pull it out a little bit here. So from top to bottom here, he was Life Orb Mamo. Physically defensive Necrozma setup. Obviously, he was entirely specially defensive Incineroar. The Shaman was AV, Staka was Chopple, and Lottie. I'm not sure if you can even see the Lottie. I'm going to have to, I can't drag this up because I can't scroll down anymore. Well, anyways, it was Monopsychic with dual screens and Memento. But yeah, again, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys for the season recap. I will be recapping the season, sort of talking about why I'm not returning, and maybe it'll be my overall thoughts on the season, and just sort of recapping everything that happened. So again, enjoy, and I'll catch you guys next week for the recap.